I think we have an official quorum there.
We've reached a quorum. All right, very good.
Very quickly, thank you all for joining us. We are the Monday morning box office quarterbacks, telling you what the studios should have done and how they screwed up this weekend, and how much better it would be if we were in charge.
That's an alternate title of this, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anyone from the Disney CEO search committee in the audience, checking to see if we're ready to go here, I think feel free to add any questions at the bottom.
Comment there. We're reachable in the comments. So yeah, please. Yeah, and by all means, everybody listening, add a comment as well. If a question, anything in the conversation, please add thoughts as we go along here as well.
So Superman had legs or tights or what do you call it?
Pick it.
Fairly with a big asterisk. What do you think about all that?
The big asterisk. Well, I have my own asterisk, but yeah, it's even nudged up a little here in the Monday. The final numbers actually came in a little bit higher, so you're probably close to about 50%, which is good. I mean, Man of Steel was minus 65. The last kind of original Superman movie. Batman was minus 50. So look, it had no real competition, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, healthy. Again, it's just it hit on target, Richard, last weekend, and this is a decent draw. It's just doing pretty well. I don't know. There's not really a lot to take from it, other than international is coming in low, and that's the main thing. That's
the question mark. I haven't seen a good theory offered as to why that is. I have mine, but
layers out, because I've heard stuff and I have other numbers that negate that. But what is your theory on it?
Well, so Superman, whatever your marketing for Superman comes on top of 100 years of knowledge of this character, and I look back. I watched the 1977 Richard Donner version of Superman, which kicked off the entire superhero era. And that movie 40 years ago opens with a boy looking at the ancient, this black and white sequence of a boy looking at the ancient action comics Superman, and sort of sets it up as this is a character that is almost primeval, and within that, the colors are red, white, and blue for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He has been, until extremely recently, this fighter for truth, justice, and the American way.
Right.
And so you can market it today however you want, but you're building on top of 100 years of that character, and I just wonder how much that's just not what people are in the mood for right now, given America's
positioning in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll put it that way. Yeah, no, that's the theory that's out there. You're right. I mean, Man of Steel did not have this problem, but again, that was that was might as well be 100 years ago at this point in terms of American policy in the world. So there is that. I mean, but Warner's has had some overseas troubles. Another, Beetlejuice did not do as well overseas. Sinners famously, had issues overseas. Warner's has had it over the past year, and they made a change at the head of international back in January, Richard, at Warner Brothers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So look, it's a dealer's choice. The numbers are the numbers. So, I mean, no matter what, bottom line doesn't really matter in the end. You wouldn't have changed this movie to appeal more internationally. Could they have done something? It's like, no, this is what it is. But pick your theory. You're probably right in some regard. It's not major. I mean, it's just that it's going to do more in the U.S. than it's going to do internationally, which is for a DC movie or a superhero movie is, kind of unusual. The Batman was above, was more international, more recent stuff. So it's not the superhero genre per se. So I think you're, to your point, well, what's different about this one? That's the Batman is not about America, but or about red, white, and blue Americana.
So the canary in the coal mine I'm always looking for. I wake up and I go to bed every morning.
Wow,
obsessed with this. Is the world turning away from Hollywood filmmaking, because
Okay.
there's a lot of competition out there. There are a lot of other places they could go, but they haven't yet. They haven't turned away. But if they ever decided, like, we're sick of these people in America talking about that is the meteor hitting Burbank
Hollywood.
direct. That's the thing. So I'm always carefully monitoring for any signs of that.
Right.
Uh, so put this one on the whiteboard there.
On the watch list.
Um,
Okay.
Overall, though, they have relaunched a franchise. They've relaunched a division here, which was in really bad shape 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I mean, so you look at, we talk about, like, will this film be profitable? Will this film not be profitable? But, like, what is the value over 10 years to a studio of having an active and vital DC division? I mean, that's
Yeah.
many billions of dollars. So
Hopefully, yeah, yeah. So Supergirl's up next year. I don't think it's going to do this kind of number. Maybe it will. I don't know.
well,
But
you got to keep maintaining it, and you got to. I mean,
right.
nothing. The lesson we've learned lately is that you don't ever get to go on cruise control and just get to phone it in. So
Yeah.
but starting is the hardest part. That's
Yes.
the biggest thing.
Oh, if
Getting
this
out.
was a dud, Richard, I mean, I don't even want to, that would have been a complete and utter disaster. This had done Thunderbolts numbers and done 400 million worldwide total,
Yeah.
and this is already at 400 million after 2 weeks or 2 weekends, I should say.
Think if it had
So,
done Shazam numbers. I mean, that's where DC
hey, oh.
was. I mean,
No, I know. I mean, we ripped Blue Beetle and reel him off the Flash. This is exactly where DC was, after their hiatus there for a while. You're right. So, up by that account, is it doing $1 billion? No, but is it going to do 700? Whatever. Yeah, great start. It's a revitalization. You can launch from here. Now it's a good question. I mean, Supergirl's there, and Clayface is the other film, which is a smaller film. But what else? And then there's the Batman 2, which just is finishing the script. So what is the next few phases,
Yeah.
Richard, after this momentum? So it's a real
Uh,
question.
I'll just quote our friend Greg Marcus of Marcus Theaters, who
Mhm.
says everything is R&D until you get to the sequels. So the this is R&D money well spent, apparently. So
Yes, I think that's the net of that. So we'll see how. But now, but worth mentioning, Richard, Warner Brothers has now had opened 5 movies in a row over $45 million.
well,
That
we got to get
includes
rid of those. We got to get rid of
those
those
people.
people.
We got to get these people out of here. What the hell are they
Yeah.
doing?
What, Mike
And
and
then,
Pam? Like, how
jeez.
are they? How do they still have jobs?
I know. Both their passes. They have the largest share of global box office to date, Richard. I mean, Tim and Disney are pretty close, but right now they are in the lead of global box office share. So there you
I mean,
go, Warner Brothers.
pretty stunning. I mean, every film
I
is
mean,
a unique case, and every film is its own thing. But considering how they were talking about this
yeah,
studio 3 months ago,
yeah.
like this
I
was not.
mean,
It was in March was when the March and April was
yeah.
when the summer
Literally
features were
4 months
happening.
ago. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, right
The
before CinemaCon. Exactly right. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, and the opinion of the press when they saw the Warner slate, I was really lukewarm. I would say there also
Yeah, this was
the
end of March. We were exactly. It wasn't walking out like, oh my God, we're gonna take all those things we said back.
yeah
That wasn't the takeaway there by any means. So
yeah it was why aren't they showing us more of Superman? They must be
yeah,
afraid. They must be
right.
so which put a pin in it to take all CinemaCon reaction with a big grain of salt next year.
As every year, which should be
Yeah.
always be the consideration of it. So yeah. Uh,
the but
sh-
he David Zaslav trusted he trusted Mike Bam, and he trusted
Made bets on people.
James Gunn and Peter Safran, and
Yep.
those seem to be paying off at the moment.
Say what you will about it, but that's exactly right. So moving on here, we have a Jurassic World, profit moment, Richard. This is 640 million globally. A billion ain't gonna be in the cards here. This is it's a little over $1 million, a little over $100 million below the last one in terms of where it was at the same time. Um, so the streak looks to be over. The last three movies each made over $1 billion globally. I don't think this is going to get there. Making money, not a disappointment. They'll do another two movies, but in terms of just if you're trying to rank their popularity of Jurassic's, this fine, fine.
So yeah, this counts as, like, if we're judging it by sort of franchise health
Right.
there, this counts as sort of stays in the ball game.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, go make another one. It's probably fine.
Yeah, it's not like franchise collapse syndrome here.
This isn't what happened
But
with the first three, where the first Jurassic Park and the second and the third one was like was in the toilet. So this wasn't that. This is not that kind of deal. So that's for sure. People still like dinosaurs. Who knew?
at some point, I
we
mean,
keep saying that, but I don't think I just don't know. It just defies logic, Richard. It defies logic.
Our dinosaur got loose again and is
Yeah.
chasing people. I mean, that's what cinema is, I guess. So
If it ain't broke, but
what can you say?
so we talk
The
about Sony here, or what do you want to do next, Richard?
well, okay, yeah, we'll save the big picture stuff till the end
Yeah,
here.
yeah, no, but
Yeah,
the
go. So Sony, and I know what you
I know
did.
what you did last summer. So you know, this opened below the original C plus cinema score. If the movie's gonna,
C
it'll.
plus cinema score is that's like the lowest cinema score anything's gotten this summer, I think.
Well, it's kind of hard, but it's hard never does that great anyway. So I mean, it's not. It's like a little average or below.
David Poland had a review of all the cinema score, and know that all the major releases have got an A or B this summer. That B
Oh,
was the lowest. Was
oh,
the
well,
lowest.
then, yeah. Well,
So
then,
so C
congratulations to
plus.
the fishermen. Then, yeah, right.
Uh,
It's just like here's the thing with this. It's it'll break even on a production basis, but it's not a big deal. But like, what are we doing here? I mean, Sony has been they had Karate Kid Legends also earlier this summer, which had the same exact narrative. It made its money back, but marketing money was a loss. Like it's like, all right, you extended the franchise a little bit. What's the point here? They have reboots of La Bamba, Idle Hands, Urban Legends, St. Elmo's Fire, Starship Troopers, and Blue Streak, all in development. They put out reboots of Flatliners, The Grudge, Fantasy Island, and Charlie's Angels over the past 5 years. They all did not do well at all. I just at this point, I don't even what's the point of this? I just that's my main takeaway of it. It's fine. I guess it employs people. Is this none of these things are working creatively? No one's clamoring for them, obviously. That's where I walk away from this and just be like, can we not? Is this the best use of our time and resources? That's my first question.
what was it? What was the film? There must have been one film. I'm trying to remember back. What was the film that ignited this whole sort of
Man.
'80s reboot? I mean, was it Ghostbusters or
But even Ghostbusters didn't do. Ghostbusters didn't even clear $300 million globally. Like it's not even like that was an amazing. And even there's a few Ghostbusters. There was the all female cast, which generally did not or was not considered to have worked very well. The first one that Reitman did seem to come back, but the other two have kind of had diminishing returns. So and Ghostbusters is just a different. I mean, there's like merch and there's other considerations for keeping Ghostbusters alive, which I get. Halloween sales, all that having a cultural effect, even if the box office wasn't gangbusters. But these movies are these one-offs of just like movies that you heard of, maybe that it's just there's a different category. This isn't bringing back Will and Martin for Bad Boys, which is fine. That's a different kind of sequel thing. These are just like you're remaking these movies that don't need to be remade, number one, and number two, the audience is not telling you we love these things. It's just like I just a bit of a loss of the whole point of this, Richard. But maybe that's I don't know. Not to take the crank
I mean,
position on
I
this
get.
one, but I'm
I
going
guess
to.
if you start with the premise that original films are impossible, that you can't
Right.
launch an original movie these days, you smoke what you've got, I guess. It's like, and this is where I mean, in the Columbia Vault, like go
Yeah.
back to gangster pictures of the 1940s or something, but
That's
this
next.
they have Close Encounters. How come they haven't?
Yeah, touch the Spielberg one. Yeah. Well, maybe do
Yeah,
Tootsie, Richard. How about that? There we go. Yeah.
yeah.
There we go.
But
Anyway,
this is
that's my
the uh, so yeah, that's rough. I would say.
yeah, not a ringing endorsement, I would say, put it that way. So
Yeah.
then the other one, Smurfs, another franchise that I mean, this one will not make its money. This is one will seemingly lose a decent amount of money at Paramount. But Sony did the last three films, and they didn't want to. I guess they didn't want to do this one or whatever it was. So that there
Hmm.
was films before, but 11 million bucks. I mean, just not a franchise that has a lot of love out there, Richard. I guess the takeaway, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, it's I saw it. I thought as for a kid standard, it was fine. It was funny at parts. The I mean, I guess you're lost under Lilo and Dragon there. Um,
but those were a month
and,
ago. That was a long time ago. This is just
yeah,
nobody won. Just the Smurfs are very popular. I don't know, or something like that. That's the only thing I could say. It wasn't a lack of awareness. It wasn't a lack of anything else. I
yeah.
think this falls in that kids category. It's just not a hot kids property.
I mean, it's in line with what the last Smurfs movie did. So,
Right, that's at
uh,
13 million in 2017, a little bit below that.
yeah,
But diminishing returns. So we went from 2011 it was 560 million global, 2013 was 350, and 2017 was 200. So this one will be down probably somewhere near 100, I would guess. So it just keeps going down. But it was more of an international property than the US. It's always skewed more pretty heavily to the international market. It's of course
yeah.
I think created in
Uh,
Belgium, I think. But yeah.
yeah.
So
The I predict the before we retire, we will somehow see another incarnation of the Smurfs.
someone will take another shot.
This isn't
Yes,
the last
exactly.
we've heard of Smurfs.
Yeah, probably not. But Paramount is not likely making money on this one. So kind of Mission Impossible and this, not so great. We've lot riding on Naked Gun, Richard. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to. So well, I'm seeing that in a week. I'm very excited.
Uh,
So
all right. Put my chips on it
uh,
too.
exactly. And then F1
Then we
still
got
cranking
F1.
along.
Yeah. The good global numbers there.
Yeah, I mean it's only 33% of the money is in the U.S. So that pretty good. I mean, obviously, again, pretty good, but losing money. So, but for Apple,
Again, though,
it's this weird halo that Apple has of like, you made a hit. You didn't make any money, but you got a hit. Congratulations.
but again, in that it's all R&D until
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
until a sequel. I mean, say this loses $100 million, but it kicks off some sort of franchise. It kicks off Apple big screen, uh, IMAX presentations. Like, what is
But
that worth
then,
to Apple? Apple
yeah,
over
but
10
that's what
years.
Apple has zero other films lined up right now. They have nothing else theatrically lined up at this point. So that's the other interesting thing to know about Apple is they have their big hit, and it's like, all right, what's next? And it's like, you got nothing in the, nothing. I mean, who knows if they make a deal or not? But it's just interesting that they have this was the last one of their theatrical commitment that they've made. So I would say the sequel's interesting, Richard. I mean, and maybe if you can spend a little less money on it, maybe fine. But this feels like a movie that and if you've seen it, but creatively could get a sequel out of it.
Yeah,
I'll be curious to see if Bruckheimer's going to kind of actively pursue this or not. There's been no word on that yet, but I'm like, this kind of fits those checks those boxes, Richard. Of like, yeah, this seems like a movie that under any other circumstance would probably get a sequel if Brad Pitt wants to do it. But interesting
yeah,
thought.
and I mean the number of ways that Apple can make use of if it turns into an F1 series or something, and the number of ways that could be valuable to Apple. The amount that they might lose on this movie that doesn't. I mean, again, they can afford it, and if that's towards a bigger launching a bigger franchise, then I don't think that's important as much
Yeah.
anymore. So.
Well, they're also
Uh,
getting supposedly getting the F1 TV rights as well. The way so that's their other thing that they're probably going to overpay for. But at some point, Richard, though, it's like so you lose money here, lose money here. You got to start making money on something at some point. And I've yet to hear the thing that they're making the
well,
money
but
on, and that's the thing that I've always
Apple does make money on something. It makes money
They
on
do,
phones.
but it's unrelated
They
entertainment.
make
This is
they make. they make more money on phones than anyone else does. And if this sort of gives a little halo to the Apple brand, makes people feel
Yeah.
more confident in the Apple brand, and it moves that
Hmm.
needle.
Okay.
You can see the entire world as a fight between the
Yeah.
iPhone and whatever that
Yeah.
other thing is called.
Yes. Android. Yes, exactly.
The Android, the entire, and if you can move that needle like a thousandth of an inch, like that you can buy all of Hollywood
Yeah.
with that. So
All right. We'll see if they continue. But I mean, Eddington, A24, Richard, Ari Aster, not great. Uh, you know,
uh, the again another so the A24 shows that seems to these $25 million budget
right. Which
numbers
which you've done to do. Yeah.
seem to always appear around the A24 films. Their movies always seem to be
So how come in there?
25 million, which makes me think maybe they're not 25 million, and
Just
uh,
cutting and pasting.
and
Yeah.
there's some. So if they're not 25 million, what are they actually?
Mm.
My guess is they're not trying to hide that they cost less than 25 million.
Generally not how Hollywood works. No, Richard, that's generally not
Yeah.
how it works.
Um,
Uh,
I
yeah, it's an
I have
interesting
seen.
career.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of talk on in the sort of film circles that I mean, it sounds like an interesting movie to me.
Yeah,
But for interesting movie for hardcore film, but it seemed it, I don't know. It could become a cult thing. How much is a cult is a streaming cult film worth to you?
right.
It's a question.
Probably
So
not $25 million, but
probably not 40 million either. So
no, no. But for a guy Ari Aster, made his name with Hereditary, Midsommar, kind of horror, kind of genre, and then his past two films, Beau Was Afraid, and then this are not in that genre. Kind of curious to see what he does next or what the level of it is, because it's like he's had success in one area but it hasn't translated to that anywhere near that degree to other genres. So a curious thing to kind of keep an eye on what he does next, or what Hollywood says he should do next. But also just
I mean,
it's no good.
he is a real filmmaker, and
Yeah, I mean
if there's
100%.
if there's ever going to be a vibrant indie sector, then support for directors like Ari Aster would be kind of the basic thing there, and that doesn't mean a $25 million opening weekend, but it maybe
A
means a 8 million
little more than
opening
this. Yeah, yeah,
weekend, or it means like these things will have legs and keep going. So
yeah,
uh, the indie theatrical sector has been so battered in recent years and
yeah,
deprived that you're looking for any like sort of flicker of brain waves or anything to bring it back to life. So
yeah.
uh,
But
it's
it's
looking
interesting,
there.
this is kind of the first COVID movie where we haven't, we're granted we're going to be four years out, whatever you want to say. But like, I wonder, do people want to watch anything about that at all? That's a question. Obviously, not a huge opening, but just in general, we're certain. Was it 10 years later, 20 years later? Do people want to watch something, on these, big events that happen in our life, whether it be Vietnam or 9/11 or whatever it might be? I kind of wonder if anybody wants to even revisit COVID, at all as a dramatic concept. Do you want to go see a COVID movie? I'm like, I don't know
Yeah,
that,
I mean
you know,
that. I mean that. I think this belongs to the art house
right.
sector, which
Yeah,
in a better world would be a vibrant sector to make a little bit of money on modestly priced projects, which
yeah,
they
yeah.
always were. So,
And
but
topics that are very important, and he dives into it. It's not, but it is interesting just from a pitch point of view, where other times that may have been the case. But the Iraq
I,
War, same thing.
I given the age way more like you look at their movies lately, like this and Civil War and things.
Right?
I mean, they're putting some really tough
Yeah. No, they're going
topics
for it.
out, and they're trying to turn them into
And
large four quadrant.
conversations.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no,
Uh,
kudos to them for trying. Like, I'm not, to be clear, I'm not faulting them for it. It's just an interesting,
yeah,
kind of like, yeah, they're right. Warfare as well. They just had it back in the springtime as well. Another one that,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, these are not, they're not Lilo and Stitch. It's like
right.
there's some tough topics, but
Yeah,
they're
on current, being that big, yeah, being that center of current conversation, which, for that demographic. So yeah, no, they're taking the swing. It's kind of God bless them for, for doing that. So no doubt.
right.
Well, Richard, I kind of follow up on something you mentioned here in the pod, or the about a month ago, just in terms of like, and we're still early, it's mid June, so I kind of was like, well, we'll see how it plays out. But we're at the end of, we have one more big movie left in Fantastic Four. Hits theaters on Friday. After that, it's some obviously Naked Gun, Weapon, Freaky Friday, but those films aren't going to do 600 million, $1 billion worldwide. They're not those aspirations. So I kind of went back, and you were kind of lamenting at the time about a month ago. I mean, like, I'm not seeing a lot breaking through this year. We've had two films at the time was Minecraft, and then Lilo just crossed $1 billion.
Yeah.
Only two films, but I was looking back through the summer, and Leo just crossed $1 billion, and I was like, now I kind of where are the bangers? We're kind of not a little low on movies that are going to cross
We're
that
yeah,
$1 billion thing. So it's not great this year. I kind of broke down all the previous summers, and
we're up 15% versus
right,
last year, which was a
right,
terrible year.
right.
So, and check back in 3 weeks, we might not be up 15% anymore.
Exactly, because we
Uh,
have Deadpool comps coming in this Friday, by the way. Deadpool opened
yeah.
at $211 million, by the way. But it's like, remember how big that's at 630 million in the US alone,
So
so
we're certain to be underwater versus last year, which was a horrible year.
well, we just could be coming back to more of I don't think we're going to be down, but I mean, we could be at +5 by the end of the summer. We'll see how these other films. There's a lot riding on those Freaky Friday bad guys too. If they can punch above their weight, great. If they don't, there's Labor Day weekend conversations can be really interesting to see where we're at, but. It is just nothing really has broken through to the inside outs of the world or the Barbies or the Top Gun Mavericks. Like no, we didn't have that this summer. Lilo's our closest thing, but after that, Jurassic's the next thing in line, and that's probably won't hit $1 billion, and then Superman, which will be again doing fine, but not that global. Again, 1.4 billion, whatever kind of hit. We didn't have that this summer for the first time, and as far as I can tell, at least 7 or 6, 7 years here. So notable.
I mean, and you look back at some of these other years, how many of those you had by this point? It's you gave a
Yeah.
list of them. It's pretty.
You had three,
It
at least three a summer, where it was at least $1 billion or about $1 billion, whether it be 950, whatever it might be. And
yeah.
we're going to have $1 billion and maybe one that gets to 900 million, and that's going to be it. So,
So what just to boil it down.
yeah.
So we don't have any small films breaking out. The mid sector is dead. We don't make those anymore, and we don't have enough big films.
and
So
yet we're up over last year. But yeah, exactly. But
so
yeah.
so we're we're looking weak on the big, horrible on the little, and we're dead in the medium. So everything's great. So
Don't
what
worry,
was
we're
it?
up
Up
15%.
15%. What do we
There
have to
you
worry
go.
about?
Problem solved. Problem solved. So yeah, yeah. Well, the
I
mid rate, yeah.
I
The
think that
mid's kind of coming back to a small degree. I understand what you're saying. We're not, from a long time ago, but hopefully, Freaky Friday of the world, the Naked Guns, those are the mids. So the August is kind of the mid month where that we'll see if that comes back or how much it comes back to. That's the time to shine, is August. So we'll see. But uh,
I'm
we
root,
haven't been good.
I'm rooting for the middle. Then
Yeah,
we need
that's what
a
we're
we
playing.
need a middle out there. I mean that's just the basic problem I see here. Like that there's just not enough in the movie theaters to keep people going, except for the rare exceptions that we're we're doing everything we can to make sure that movie going is not a habit, but just a freak thing that people do once a year or every 2 years, and we're not keeping them there. And you know, if Hollywood can't do better, then others will step into step into the fold there.
That is true. That is true. I will note
Oh,
this summer we didn't, the previous ones you look at what there was outside of Barbie and Oppenheimer, which was kind of an, anomaly. It was, we haven't had a lot of, Lilo and Stitch is a sequel to a degree, but not, it's an original, it's not a two, three, four. F1, not a, is also, again, brand, but not, it's an original. Superman, again, not a Superman 2, 3, 4. So this is also a summer of quote unquote originals or first editions or whatever you want to call them, where in previous summers, the ones that have been doing that kind of number between Guardians 3, Top Gun 2, Jurassic 6, Avengers 2, so there is a bit of the nature of this summer, but I don't know that we're going to, $1 billion movie, is Superman 2 going to do $1 billion? That's, that would be the question, which I don't know if that's the takeaway either.
yeah.
So it is the unique nature of this
And
summer.
we might be underselling Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four might
And
do
that's
very well.
yeah. Sorry, thank you for bringing that up. Exactly. It looks great. The early, I think reviews are dropping tomorrow. So if Marvel can restore some of that old magic, Richard, and round out and give me the big hit of August, that'd be great for everybody to have that additional hit. So we shall see. But just a curious thing, again, you mentioned about a month ago. I was like, let me see how the movies play out, and you were kind of spot on there. And be like, there's not quite as big, there's a little something off about the summer this year. So that's for
Um,
sure.
Step it up, Hollywood.
We need more
And
billion-dollar movies, damn it. Let's go.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're listening, Disney CEO search committee,
Yes.
we're ready to do that. We'll start making some movies day one. So
Yeah, our resumes are ready. So yeah, and hire us up. All right,
that's
be
right.
sure to think. Well, we'll see now. Fantastic Four will be next week, so we'll be back here next week with hopefully some big news, and we'll see how it goes. But again, we have coming up against Deadpool comp, so it's going to be interesting to see how the numbers go through the rest of the
Yeah,
summer. So
I'll just repeat my feeling from CinemaCon on that, which is before they showed the sure Disney did its thing. My feeling was Thunderbolts looked exciting and different and something really interesting, and Fantastic Four was just like, oh, this is just a cookie cutter, another one of these.
yeah,
This is where my jaundiced, aged perspective comes in. And when they showed that in the room full of the multiplex owners of America, I really felt like in Thunderbolts, people were like, "Why are you showing us these dirty people in a van arguing with each other?" Like and
right,
and then Fantastic Four came on, and it was shiny, and there was Silver Surfer flying, and they're like, "Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's it. There it
yeah,
is." And
yeah.
I just felt the energy soar on
Just kind of shift.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Four, which not my expectation in the least, but
yeah.
uh, we'll see if that pans out.
Well, there'd be worse ways to have a weekend go, so that's for sure. But thanks for joining everybody, Richard. Always a pleasure to see you, and
We'll
we'll see you all back here next Monday.
we'll see you next week. Bye.